Good day everybody, welcome to another video, and yes, we're still working on the Ford 5.4 liter, probably for a few more videos to go, because this is quite a large job to tackle, and now we're going to be working on the timing, doing the cam freezer lockouts, see what kind of shit show we can experience. In the last video, we got the passenger side valve cover out, and that was kind of a struggle, so I don't know if it's going to be smooth sailing from here on out or not. Let's have a look. I'm gonna need my workbench back, so gotta start cleaning this up so we can start laying stuff out for the cam phaser lockouts. Starting to rain outside, and if I never got rid of my Bel Air, there's no way I would have been able to tackle this job outside. It would have been a nightmare and a half. I would have had to abandon mission or struggle greatly with it. It wouldn't have been good. It would not have been good. I would have been high stressed and angry. Inside the garage, it's tight, I'm making it work. Well, the phaser's held in by a 15 mil bolt, so I don't know if the 3/8 gun will get her out, but we'll see. Nope, I didn't think she'd have enough power. I'll use Big Bertha here. Wiggle the phaser off. See? My camshaft moved there. I guess it rotates. Jump for the wedge tool. Slide down. Soft jaws would come in handy here, but I just put duct tape on the vise. I just want to hold it in place. Alright. Oh, there it is. That's the little guy right there. Hard to tell. So, let me just get that on there. Okay, I'm sliding on. I am sliding on. And I am on. Alright, that cam phaser is torque to yield. Interesting enough, when I watch other people's videos, they seem to torque to yield without having the wedge tool in there. I tried it with the wedge tool, and the engine still turned. And then, you know, people did it with nothing in there, and they're able to do it. But there's no way, because when I was cranking it over, trying to get the yield, trying to get that bolt to stretch, it was turning the whole motor over. It wasn't until I locked the crankshaft down below that we had some magic happened. So I don't know what's going on there. Oh, if I didn't have a party to go to tonight, I would stay in the garage and do this, but I gotta make an appearance. Definitely did not get as far as I was hoping to today. I actually was hoping to get at least the timing cover opened up. Fortunately, that's not the case. I still got all day tomorrow before I go back to work on Monday. However, once the timing part is done and the valve covers and everything else are back together, it's just a matter of putting all the wiring loom back together, putting the whole front end back together. My water pump and everything else should be here earlier in the week, and then fingers crossed for startup. New oil filter. Yes sir. Buddy, is it gonna storm? It's sure looking dark out there. Sky is dark. Looks okay to the west though. Today's another new day. We're gonna see if we run into any more complications. Same thing. Going to put our special mark on there. And reference. Same width. And this one sits quite a bit closer. And this one's sitting at about 33. Now I get the fun job trying to get that piece of cheese in there. A little bit tighter just because we don't know when we pull this off which way the crank may want to turn. Alright, let's wiggle this one off. There we go. The camshaft rolled on. It's a good thing for the vice grips. Good thing for the vice grips. Because we'll be rolling that forward. Throw a rag down below to catch the oil that's pissing out of there. Don't go flying out on me. Let's find the tight cavity. It's definitely that one again. That is the one. That's tight. Shit! Oh, you bastard. I should go the other way perhaps. There we go. Crisis averted. We're going to tighten that up, hand tight. 30 foot-pounds of torque. There we go. We're going to double check my measurement. We're looking good. The yield, 90 degrees. That's where I gotta be. I should have my trusty breaker bar here. And I got the crankshaft locked down below. So let's add a little bit more. Just a tad bit more. Just to see here. There we are, we're good. Problem is, over time, those holes get so covered with dirt and crap. In order to do this right, you're gonna have to run a tap through them, get them all cleaned out. It's best to figure out what thread it is first. Try to get the tap started by hand. See if the air cat can do it. There we go. I'm paying attention to make sure that they're all the same length. And they seem to be. I don't think there's no more hidden bolts that I am aware of. So let's lift this cover off and have a look. This is where it's going to get interesting. So let's put my timing lock into place. There we go. Got the right side here. Get some light on the subject, right? The timing marks are way off. Got the left side there. And timing marks for that one are nowhere to be found. Alright, well, this is where the shit show begins. I got my crank in the position up there, right, left. Gonna put some vice grips on the camshafts, lock them down into place, because once I remove the chains, the cams are gonna want to roll somewhere. So that I'm gonna have to find out where they're gonna end up going. Yeah, that's what I thought was gonna happen. Roll backwards. Roll backwards. Just pulling the chains off. So everything is in time, at least on this side. You can see, hopefully, in the camera. I got the borescope. Mark is with the dark, and then up here I put the chain right on the mark. It's tight, so we are good there. Not too bad. There's a neutral position with these camshafts if you're in the right spot. Otherwise it'll either go clockwise or counterclockwise. That's why the vice grips come in handy. Of course, they got to be a different size. Number 8. Ah, 8, 10, Jesus. Got to make reference of the bolts. One is longer than the other. Day's not over yet. Still like to pull that oil pump out. It may not happen. All timing components are removed. You can see this tensioner right there is blowing out, and this tensioner right there is blowing out, and this guide is busted right there. That's the only piece, but I'm not going to drop the oil pan for that. That's not going to happen. It's already 5 o'clock on a Sunday. Still got to get ready for work tomorrow. Alright, motherfucking beer time. Amongst all this mess and blowing out tensioners, we got some Chilkoot, beer from the Yukon. Alright, cheers everybody. Motherfucking beer time. The end is getting near. The end is getting near. I was going to try to tackle the oil pump tonight. I'll save that for tomorrow. Start doing the timing, doing the reassembly. Should get it all done within the next week if I come out 2 to 3 hours every day. Oh, fuck me. There's a lot of stopping and thinking and researching. For example, for the timing, the actual procedure tells you to remove some cam followers and this and that. But you don't have to. You don't have to. You don't even need that crankshaft tool that I'm using. It just helps out to verify that your timing is set up properly. However, if you got your bottom sprocket positioned in a way that you can line up that one link with the colored link on the chain and then run it up to the cam phaser, and if it fits in there and it's tight, you're not going to have any issues. So the only difference is if you don't remove the cam followers, then your camshaft's loaded. That's why I got the vice grips on it, so it'll creak. There's a neutral position, but the one on the passenger side, I got it down, and then the one on the driver's side is just in the neutral. So anyways, motherfucking beer time. Few more videos, we should be done this. And then the work on the Jeep, because I got a P0 303 cylinder 3 misfire on a cold start, not a hot start, which would indicate that a fuel injector could be bad. It's on a cold start, so I'll talk to you guys later.